That yawn lets you know we're about to do another Micah Drives family review. This time we're driving a Nissan Rogue Sport. Coming up, I'm going to tell you a shocking revelation about the Rogue Sport. But first, information explosion.
Shocking.
Shocking, yes. But a good place to start before we get to shocking anyone, interior. All right, my lady, what do you think of the interior of the Rogue Sport?
I like it. It looks, actually, my answer depends on how much this vehicle costs.
Let's say mid-20,000s-ish.
Okay, I like it.
Hey!
Some of the materials feel a little cheap, but it looks designed, which I like this material. I haven't seen it before. Even though it's just hard plastic, it has some visual appeal to it.
Yeah, it's one of a zillion patterns vaguely inspired by carbon fiber, but I think it looks nice. I would agree. And this is the SL trim, which is the highest. It's elevated by some nicer materials. You've got this genuine stitching here. What about space? Are you feeling like you have adequate space there?
I am, but if we had 4 grown humans in here, I don't know how we would fare.
Sweetie, we're parents. We never hang out with grown humans. I don't know when that would come into play.
That's true.
Yeah, I did, though, as a grown human, get in the back seat, and as the quintessential average male, I fit behind myself with plenty of clearance, well, not plenty, adequate clearance. The one thing that I dislike is the angle of the seat back. It's a bit vertical, and these seats do not adjust. What about getting the car seat back there?
Oh, it was so easy. There were 2 plastic bits, ripped those off and jammed the latch points in. Perfect.
I noticed a little bit of resistance when I pulled the latch point out, so when I was doing B-roll, it went whee! And I don't know if you noticed or not, but the doors open super wide.
I didn't notice.
So you've got a really wide aperture for putting things in, which actually really comes in handy. Before I talk about cargo, we're gonna go around this corner with this bump. Not bad. Cargo space, there's up to 22.9 cubic feet in the back. The mid-tier and the upper tier versions of the Rogue Sport have the divide and hide cargo separator system. I couldn't quite figure out the 18 different permutations of cargo storage that are meant to be available back there.
This actually makes me feel better because I opened it and I moved some things around and I was like, I feel like I'm not intelligent enough to operate this system. I don't know what any of these panels do.
We might be stupid. In fact, we are stupid, but I didn't know I was stupid in that way. At the very least, you have a way to divide it and keep things from rolling around. So that's cool. And you have the multiple heights too. So you can have a completely flat load floor when you flip the seats down, or you can have a sunken in load floor so things don't go rolling out the back. Rear window test. Oh, so close, so close. Armrest test. So the outboard position and the inboard position are both nice and soft. There's some squish there. It's a very, very loud motorcycle. Now that I can hear myself again, isn't that a very relaxed position?
I think it looks very suggestive.
I have never been that relaxed, let alone doing 90 miles an hour on the freeway. Getting back to the task at hand, both of the armrests themselves are great, but the inboard is too far in, it doesn't slide forward, and I can't use it with my hand on the steering wheel. Oh, well, that's kind of sweet. Unless you have a sweetie to hold your arm up, that won't do. So I'm gonna go kind of in a lower position here, and then I'll go 3/4 up on the outboard. You know what we didn't do? We need to talk about family friendliness. The one thing I really like, rear vents are standard.
Oh, I love that. That seems not common on a vehicle of this size.
Yeah, totally. It's a weird thing because these are oftentimes family vehicles, and when there's a child in the back, don't you want them to be comfy and cozy? Sweetie, do you like being comfy and cozy?
Yeah.
See, she likes being comfy and cozy. Give her vents, won't you? Oh, and there's also a bunch of airbags in here too. There's rear side impact airbags and there's knee airbags as well. I'm not hung up on safety, but some people are. And for those who love safety, more airbags is probably a better thing. So what do we think, family friendly?
Absolutely.
Yes, family friendly. Hey, have you subscribed to Micah Drives? If you haven't, at 100,000 subs, I'm going to review a windowless white van. Style! To my eyes, the Nissan Rogue Sport looks agreeable.
I agree.
Yeah, you do.
I've told myself I have to stop comparing vehicles to ladies. I've just done it so much. I have to say something
Don't be
else.
a tool of the patriarchy,
I
sweetie.
know, I'm such a tool. But it just looks like a lady to me. This one looks so much like a lady.
At a certain point, the car is just a Rorschach test. It says a lot more about you than it does about the car. How does the Rogue Sport look like a lady, sweetie?
The hips, it's not a hip.
Work your way through it, sweetie. Talk it through.
Towards the back of the vehicle,
Towards that.
it gets very curvy.
Yeah, there is some curviness. And also up front, there's a little bit of blockiness. It doesn't look plain. It does look distinct, but it's not outrageous. It's like the double fold vanilla from Salt and Straw ice cream. It's like, oh yeah, it's vanilla, but it's pretty good vanilla.
Oh no, that should have been your synopsis.
I can repurpose it. I'm a lazy, lazy man. When you hear that again later, try to act surprised. Are you curious what I'm driving or flying between YouTube videos? If so, follow me on Instagram. And if you want to see what the Muzio family is doing, follow Evie. She does family stuff. I don't have time for that because I'm always working. In motion! Having spent a week driving the Nissan Rogue Sport, I've concluded that it is dynamically transparent. It doesn't stand out in any particular way, and I think that's generally a good thing. And when I'm talking about dynamics, I'm talking about like ride and handling. The steering is light around the city, so like for getting in and out of parking lots, just dodging, people that pull into your way, that kind of stuff. It's got sort of a nice agile feel, which is great. On the freeway, it tends to wander a little bit, but it's not awful. So there's that. Power from the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine is modest. Here, floored.
This is definitely one of those vehicles where it gets louder, but nothing happens.
Yeah, like I could probably put a heaping glass of iced tea on the dash.
It'd be fine.
It'd stay just fine, yeah. I'm at a point in my life where it's like, I don't know, power is fine, but how that power is delivered is a little bit more important to me. And if you've ever heard an automotive journalist complain about a continuously variable transmission, this is probably what they were talking about, which is that you spend a lot of time with the engine revs sort of like up and groaning and so you get this sort of like lurching acceleration. It's not good. However, the things that I notice, I have a suspicion that most drivers, if they just drive a car long enough, will eventually overlook. You can get used to darn near anything. So that guy probably got used to his crazy loud exhaust, probably because he can't hear anymore.
Well,
but
there's that.
Yeah, but the point being that if you were to drive this around, you probably wouldn't spend your entire time thinking about the nuances of powertrain tuning and how they probably could have done a better job.
I wouldn't, but would you?
Oh yeah, no, I'd be thinking about it constantly.
You'll never let this go, right?
85% of my brain power right now is thinking about that CVT and all the things that are wrong with it. You don't want to know what that other 15% is thinking about.
Oh my.
Oh my, indeed. I've also been blessed with a sport mode. The revs have gone up just a little bit there. And now let's try eco mode, which if we take a CVT like this with minimal horsepower and then you activate eco mode on top of that.
You might do a little something for your fuel economy and the environment, right?
No! All it does is it makes the car feel super slow and then you wind up pushing harder on the accelerator to account for it. You wind up adapting to it, as I was noting earlier. Yep, that's awful. Okay, let's just turn that right off there. Well, that's what I think of the Nissan Rogue Sport, but what do you think of the Nissan Rogue Sport? And we've magically transported ourselves to the slowest, least interesting spot we could possibly be.
Like, I felt like I was having to turn it quite a lot. Is it because I was at a very, very low speed?
You're just talking about like how many times it takes you to turn
Yes.
from one side to the other?
Yes.
You can have a quicker steering ratio, which makes it feel a little bit sportier and makes it feel a little bit more immediate, but then that might sacrifice stability at higher speeds. At least the steering's light, right?
Yes, very light. I don't know what that means, but I'm just trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Smooth. Now, like how much effort it takes to actually turn.
Oh, yes. It didn't take much effort at all.
You're not getting like a crazy arm workout or anything?
No, sadly.
Remember, speed is fast, Mommy.
Yay!
Thank you.
I don't know if I could be any prouder of my daughter right now.
That's the number 2 rule, though. What's the number 1 rule?
Yeah, what's the number 1 rule?
Look where you want to go.
That's exactly right.
good.
Give me 5. Look where you want to go.
Well done, sweetie.
Hey, I want you to experience something.
Okay.
I've complained about it enough. Now you can complain about it. Floor, let's experience that CVT.
Do you kind of hate driving fast? Are you intimidated by fast vehicles? Then you'll enjoy the Nissan Rogue Sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't even have the option of doing the things you don't feel like doing.
Mommy, you're doing great.
It's very sweet of you to say.
Well,
Aww.
Thanks, sweetie. That's so nice.
So we know how it steers. Let's focus specifically on powertrain as we leave here. Just tell me about, like, we're just not about amount, but just smoothness. Like, does this work for you?
Like, do I want to complain about it endlessly as you would?
Mm-hmm. Remember, there's real money in complaining about it.
Sadly, I'll have to make my money elsewhere because it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
This is why when experts talk about how a car drives and we're so adamant about this thing or that thing, take it with a grain of salt, because we're viewing things through our specific lens, which is we drive everything and we notice all these little nuances. But if you're just a normal human being trying to drive and doing a great job as always, then it's fine, right?
It's fine.
It's fine. It's actually not fine if you know anything, but if you don't, and most people don't, it's fine. Any other observations?
Not really.
Well, then let me get back into that driver's seat. Okay, so now you know what Sweetie thinks. You know what I think about driving the Nissan Rogue Sport. Emotion factor. I'm a little conflicted on the emotion factor because there are not traditional levers being pulled here to make me emote. However, if you are in the market for a sensibly priced subcompact SUV, there are reasons why you might have an emotional connection with this car.
This is a more agreeable box checking kind of vehicle.
Mm-hmm. If you want your box checked, get a Rogue Sport. Yes, I'll say there is a modest emotion factor, but there's one to be dug up if you want one. If you're feeling emotionally moved to buy a Nissan Rogue Sport of your own, check the Kelley Blue Book listing link in the description below. Remarks! I mentioned up front that I was going to tell you a shocking revelation. The Nissan Rogue Sport is the smaller sibling of the Nissan. Wait for it.
Oh, sorry.
If that was shocking, brace yourself.
Okay.
The Nissan Rogue is larger than this, is more powerful than this, and is also more efficient than this.
What?
I know.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
That can't be right.
It is right. Look at the press materials. The Nissan Rogue is more efficient, even though it's heavier, more powerful, larger than the Nissan Rogue Sport. I don't know how the economy works, and I don't know how fuel economy works, but this gets less of it. With that shocking revelation out of the way, other remarks, as noted in the Rogue Sport has a primo knee situation. Oftentimes, this area right here is neglected, and then you wind up lightly chafing the outside of your knee. We need to add a graphic for when Micah achieves max privilege. It doesn't feel like a baby duck's butt. Yeah, so my knees are comfortable. I mentioned the airbags earlier. The Nissan Rogue Sport has some pretty solid safety cred. It also has a standard suite of automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, blind spot warning, lane departure warning. It'll automatically apply the brakes if you're going to back into something, and rear cross traffic alert. So there are a lot of dynamic aids to assist you. It also has a rear door alert. So if you put something in the back of the car and then you arrive at your destination and you don't open the back door, they'll be like, hey, look in the back door, you might have left something there. Maybe it's several pints of delicious salt and straw ice cream. Maybe it's your child. Either way, it's an emergency. You do not want to leave them in the back.
Our friend left his groceries in the back of his car overnight.
I know. It can happen to you. And you.
Whoa.
As mentioned 85 times so far, we're driving the highest SL trim, and it includes Pro Pilot Assist, which I said correctly, I'm pretty sure. So Pro Pilot Assist is made to assist you to kind of take over some of the driving responsibilities, typically like in a freeway situation, a full-speed dynamic cruise control. I'm going to demonstrate something, and I honestly don't know how it's going to go, but let's see what happens when I depart my lane. So it's steering back, so that's pretty good. At higher speeds, it seems to work pretty well. However, there is a limitation to that. At slower speeds, it'll only use the brakes to pull you back in, and so you can just like go right across the lane.
Oh no.
It's really weird. Oh, there we go. Okay, watch.
No, all this is bad.
So it braked a little bit, and then we just went right across the lane. So unless you have the ProPilot Assist, steering assist active, that's the amount of assist you're going to get.
We didn't go off the road completely, but
Yeah, because there was another lane there.
totally.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation. Always drive where there's another lane.
But no vehicle.
Yeah, no vehicle. Ideally,
Can't
no
stress
vehicle.
that enough.
Yeah. We talked about this in the Nissan Rogue. That 7-inch screen is standard, as is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Sweetie, what do you think of the graphics?
I do like how it's laid out. It seems pretty clear.
Yeah,
I would rather have a workable interface.
then flashy graphics.
Yeah.
But should you have to choose?
No, you definitely shouldn't.
No. And then also, I'll really quickly show you the 360-degree camera system as sort of a similar, slightly low-res quality. Nonetheless, you still have great situational awareness with that 360 ring of visualization. I don't know why they didn't call it that. Gentlemen, ladies, let's talk about the new ring of visualization. As I put pedal to metal, and I feel a slight tug because of the front-wheel drive and the torque steer. I'll mention that all-wheel drive is only $1,350, which is pretty good value. You can also get heated seats and a heated steering wheel in the higher trims, and I like how they got these little rocker switches, so if you live somewhere cold, you can just leave it in a perpetual on state in either low or high. That's kind of nice.
Ooh, that also makes it easier to prank your passenger.
Welcome to Evid. Woo, woo.
Whoa!
It's like always like really, really low-level pranks that actually might be beneficial. I'm like, you know what? My back feels great. Feels great. And then I should mention the competitors. That Mazda CX-30 we drove, that would be one, and I think that's probably a more premium experience, albeit a little bit smaller. And then the Honda HR-V, obviously, that's sort of a bigger option. It probably the big one, the one you really want to look at, I don't think you've driven it yet, is the Kia Seltos. All-wheel drive comes standard. It's got a ton of value, very roomy, practical interior. I think Nissan should watch their... Thank you, Sensi. Sensi the censorship bird. Anytime I say a naughty word, Sensi's there to save me. Thank you, Sensi. Did we miss anything in the remarks? If so, tell us in the comment section. Label them remarks. Synopsis. I always say I'm a lazy man, but actually I do spend a lot of time working. I have other jobs I could probably be doing right now, so I'm not going to labor over the synopsis. The Nissan Rogue Sport is a lot like Salt and Straw Ice Cream's delicious double fold vanilla. Yeah, it's a vanilla flavor. Might seem a little tame, but they put in twice as much vanilla. So it's even more delicious.
Some people really like vanilla.
And for them, the Nissan Rogue Sport awaits. If you haven't subscribed to Micah Drives and Flies and Rides, please do so. At 100,000 subs, I'm going to review a windowless white van. If you'd like to see what we're doing between YouTube videos, follow us over on Instagram. There's that. And you know what? I made it through an entire video without saying needless full throttle acceleration. Whee! There's your needless full throttle acceleration. Kind of. You have other fine attributes, Rogue Sport. Well, I think we had a successful drive in the Nissan Rogue Sport. Can I have a high five? Yay! And you, come get your high five.
I was sleeping.